Brexit trade talks have made very little progress in recent weeks, and Brexiteer Andrew Bridgen tells Express.co.uk that the impasse is the fault of EU bureaucracy. The EU's chief executive said significant divergences persisted in its talks with Boris Johnson's negotiating team. In a statement, Brussels said, "We are working hard to overcome the significant divergences that remain between us. We are working towards an agreement." Brexit negotiations have stalled in recent months over two key issues, fisheries and regulatory alignment. Prime Minister Boris Johnson wants to fulfill a Leave campaign promise that the UK will take back control of its waters post-Brexit. Previously, EU vessels had free access to British fishing grounds, leaving many fishermen in the UK aggrieved. However, the EU's chief negotiator, Michel Barnier, has warned Mr Johnson he cannot secure access to European markets without allowing EU vessels into UK waters. The UK is also looking to avoid EU regulations, giving the country more freedom to set its own laws on trading standards. But Tory Brexiteer Andrew Bridgen tells Express.co.uk that the very nature of the EU is the main reason for the lengthy period of time without progress. He said, "One of the reasons for the impasse is the bureaucracy of the EU. They've got to get 27 heads of states to agree to a negotiating position, whereas David Frost can speak to Boris and Boris can make a decision. Barnier has to speak to the Commission, and then the Commission has got to get the approval of 27 heads of states." He also claimed demands made by Brussels have been unreasonable. He continued, "Ultimately what the EU's demands are, given we are now a sovereign nation, accepting EU regulations, rights to fishing grounds and the European Court of Justice to rule over the agreement of our future relationship. They are not demands that any independent country that hasn't lost a war would agree to." Mr Bridgen also argued that the demands were unreasonable. The MP for North West Leicestershire also argued that there is no point in extending the transition period, despite some claiming it was needed amid the coronavirus crisis. He continued, "There was never any point to extending the transition period.